Hi there, welcome back to the channel. In this episode I'm getting the car ready to do a, what even is it? It's at least 1200 kilometers there, 1200 back. We're going to attend a mini meeting in Cornwall. We're going to be leaving from the south of France, driving all the way up. I'll put a map up somewhere. We're going to go up to Roscoff, take a ferry from Roscoff to Portsmouth. We're giving ourselves 3 days to get up there. We're going to be at the event for 2 or 3 days, and then we've got 3 days to get back. Right now, the car's not really done such a long journey. It's, as you know, it's brand new, just finished the build, and we're not sure if it's going to make it. I mean, we hope so, right? But I'm just going to do an oil change. I've done about 500 miles on the rebuilt engine, so I'm going to do an oil and filter change. I'm going to drop the coolant out that's in there and put new coolant in. I didn't do a correct concentration of water. There's too much water. I didn't put enough coolant in before. So I'm going to dump that out and put more in. And we'll see how we get on. I've also just done a couple of modifications to the car, which I'll show you right now. One is I've put a fire extinguisher in there. I think it's good for a long journey. And I've just installed a USB socket and mount for my iPhone. This is a quad lock case. This is a socket off of Amazon. I like it actually because not only is it a charger, it's a voltmeter as well. So you can see there it's showing volts. If I start the car, should be able to see the volts creeping up as it's charging. So I can also see that my alternator's getting the right output. I've connected that to the lighting circuit, so I have to have at least my daytime running lights on to do any charging, which I'm quite happy about. It means if anything is plugged in, it's not going to drain on the battery when I'm not using the car, as these things happen with minis. And you know, you go out, you come back and your battery's dead and you're stuck in the middle of France. Yeah, we don't want that. So yeah, I've just done those 2 jobs. They didn't go quite as straightforward as I wanted. I had some tool problems, let's say. Yeah, we're good. Let's get into this service. For today's service, I'm going to use a W712 man filter, and we're using HTX Collection 20W50 by ELF. We've used that before on the channel. I do prefer a Miller's oil, just for no reason than a friend of mine's got an affiliation with Miller's. But this one we can get locally. It's not cheap, it's about 70 euros for 5 litres. It's quite expensive. But I've been using it down here in France for about 10 years and we've not had any problems with the cars. And then we're going to do an oil, and then we're going to do a coolant change just to make sure it's got the right concentration in. All right. On this car it's an SPI oil sump and it has a 16mm nut. See if I can do this without getting too much on me. All right. It's not got a magnetic. Normally I have a magnetic nut and bolt on there, but it doesn't seem to have the magnetic bit on this one. Catch any loose metal filings from running in. See if I can make this work from underneath. Oil filter wrench, shall we call it? Golden that. Don't know where I bought this from, but it must be readily available. As you tighten, as you undo, it tightens around the filter. I'll see if I can put a link to that in the description. Two-way oil filter wrench. Probably going to get covered in oil doing this. Caked in oil. Whenever I do a filter change, I like to fill the filter with oil before it goes on. I can't believe this. Feels like it's a different fit. And it's catching on the engine block. That's annoying. Let's see if Mike's got any filters. Mikey, I owe you an oil filter. Mini spares to save the day. The man filter seems wider than the mini spares. Yeah, it's. I'm gonna measure that. I really don't think there's much in it, but let's see. So mini spares is 75mm, and the man is 77mm. So 2mm, only 2mm, but it's just enough for it to catch on the block there and stop us getting it in. Fill up this mini spares filter. Try again. I do have an aftermarket DSN oil filter housing, so maybe that's sat closer to the engine block than the standard. That could be why I'm seeing that problem. Never seen that before though. Although, like I said, that's the first time I've used those man filters. I didn't put it back on with this, so I don't want it on too tight. You want it on hand tight. Obviously that was needed to get the old one off. These lights are just troublesome today. Bit better. Okay, engine bay looks still good after 700 miles. A few bits of debris and dust getting there, but nothing too major. Still looking tidy. Alright, I'm going to top the oil up. I want to try and get to those hoses that are leaking. I might be able to get to that one there, look. It is still warm, so I've got to be careful. Also, the best way to drop the oil out is going to be down on that bottom hose, but not so easy to get to on the SPI. Or out the bottom of the radiator. I'm not sure that'll flush the engine out because the thermostat's closed. Will it backflow? It should backflow through the bottom hose. So I'll probably just, I don't know if you can see it, that bolt there. I think I'll just knock that off on the SPI. They've got that connection on the bottom of the radiator. I'm going to confirm with Haynes how much oil I should be putting in, and I'll do that right now. How good does that nice fresh oil look? Blooming lovely. Liquid gold. Okay, fuel topped up, oil topped up. Try and get that coolant now. I'm trying to get onto that nut there on the bottom of the rad, but it's not so easy. I'm going to try from underneath. Just don't want to get covered in. Seems like it's a 1 inch fitting. I'm going to get covered in coolant. Is it a 1 inch or is it a bit? It's slightly bigger than a 1 inch. This is a spanner that we've opened up a little bit. After lots of trying, I've got this sat as tight as I can get it without crimping it up, and it's sitting all the way around nicely on that CV boot. It was a pain in the ass because I was getting it too small and it was just not sitting on nicely. It's taken me quite a while to get it to there. I'm not overly happy with the tool. This tool isn't the right tool for these kind of clamps. This thing, jury's out on this. I'm going to give it a whirl now and see how it performs on that clamp. I don't have two sets of hands. I'll see if I can film it with this camera. Well, that was a big fail. Just catch it a little bit. Like that. Will it work? Let me know in the comments. It's certainly a pain in the ass. And then we'll fill the radiator up with coolant. Time for a cup of tea, I think. Oil service done. Change the coolant to a fashion. What else do we do? Put that cable tie on that CV boot joint. Not happy with that kit. Back to the drawing board on that one, I think. If you like and subscribe, please also share it with a friend if you found it interesting. Have a good weekend.